Okay, so the number one B2B lead generation mistake most companies make on their website. You probably are facing any one of these situations. You're driving enough traffic to your website, but your conversion rate is under 1%. Highly likely. I see most businesses falling under this category. You're spending thousands of dollars on ads, but very little of that traffic turns into leads or booked calls. Most visitors land on your homepage and leave without taking action. This makes you feel angry, frustrated, and lost, which is completely understandable because nobody likes burning through a hell of a lot of cash and wasting a lot of time. So, this is a common mistake that I see about at least 90% of the businesses that I've worked with make. Your homepage is tailored towards warm traffic. In other words, people who already know who you are and are close to booking a call. The only calls to action on your website are book a demo or book a consultation, which by nature are high commitment call to action. Yep, these are high commitment CTAs that require a certain level of trust before someone is willing to book a call, which is why 99.5% of your traffic doesn't convert on your homepage. And this is where the bottleneck lies because the reality is most people that come into your website are cold traffic. Cold traffic refers to people who have never interacted with your brand before. They don't know who you are, what you sell, or why they should trust you. Yet the only call to action that you have available on your website to get them into your funnel requires booking a demo or a consultation. As a consequence, most of this traffic leaves your website and goes elsewhere. So I've put together a diagram here of what a common situation is with businesses who run ad campaigns. So you have your Google ads, let's say this is Meta ads, or maybe even this is word of mouth. And all this cold traffic is being funneled onto your homepage. And the only call to actions you have are, let me put this here, let's see, book a consultation, book a demo. Now, you need to have these call to actions on your website, but they become problematic if they are the only call to actions that you have, because these are catered towards people who are very close or ready to jumping on a call with you. And as a consequence, most of this cold traffic that have landed on your homepage, they jump away and they go elsewhere on the internet, probably to your competitors, where they will be better nurtured over there. So, how you can convert traffic into leads. Most of your traffic will not be ready to book a call with you. They don't understand how your business actually works, what makes your processes effective, or the unique methodologies or capabilities your product or services uses to deliver outstanding results. In short, there isn't enough trust yet in the form of context, understanding, or knowledge for someone to jump on a call with you. The best analogy that I can use here is, for example, if when it comes to marriage, you wouldn't ask someone to marry you unless you had spent maybe a prolonged period of time dating, getting to know each other, where that trust was built, and for you to fully understand that you are compatible enough to spend the rest of your life together in some sort of long-term commitment. It's the same with business. You need, before you can book a call or ask someone to book a call with you, you need to nurture them in a way that instills trust and credibility. So your job is to deliver that trust. You do this by educating before you sell. That's where lead magnets come in. So what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is a high value piece of content you offer to prospects in exchange for their contact information, typically an email address. So this could come in the form of a white paper, an ROI calculator, checklists, webinars, guides, playbooks. The idea here is that you want to offer some sort of upfront free value that compels them to sign up to it, where they give you their email address. So yeah, the aim of the game is to provide some sort of upfront free value. And this is how it works. When you have a lead magnet on your website, it's low commitment. People don't have to book a call or be committed into some sort of consultation where they're not even sure if your product is going to be the right fit. So if you have some ads running in the background and the cold traffic coming to your website, and you have these different lead magnets on the homepage, for example, there will be a percentage of people from this traffic that will sign up to your lead magnet and give you their email address. And then once you acquire their email address, you can insert them into a special email sequence that nurtures them over a prolonged period of time until they have enough trust in you to jump on a call. This is highly important, and it's one of the most effective ways that you can convert cold traffic into into qualified leads or people to get on a call. So here's an example of a lead magnet that I created for a client. This was a white paper that I did where I got promoted by the CEO of HubSpot, and we were able to create a 10 email sequence where we managed to nurture a lot of these leads into booked calls. So this is just one of many ways that you can create a lead magnet to eventually get people booked on a call. So why lead magnets funnels will generate you revenue? To begin with, cold traffic needs education, not demos. They need more trust and an understanding of your product, your expertise, and your approach and how you can solve their problems. It's low commitment, so therefore they're more likely going to sign up to it. It builds trust. If you create an email sequence behind a compelling or a very value-driven, valuable lead magnet, you will instill the trust required for them to jump on a call. It warms them, and it can help you create predictable pipeline. Okay, so how to create a B2B lead magnet funnel that converts traffic into revenue. I've created a 5-step framework for you to follow that can make this as seamless as possible. For the sake of clarity, I've created a mock client called Lead Pilot, just to help contextualize some of the concepts and steps that I will be sharing with you now. Lead Pilot is just like a platform like Apollo. So they provide, how would you say, email addresses to B2B businesses to help with their outreach. So Lead Pilot is a made-up client, so I'll be using that throughout this video. So the first step, we need to identify your best traffic source. In other words, your best traffic mechanism. There are multiple different ways that you can funnel traffic onto your website immediately. It's not going to be organic because organic is a long-term project. But right now, if you have the cash, you can invest in LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, and Meta ads. Each different type of traffic mechanism has their pros and cons. The way that I would do it is I would reverse engineer it in the beginning with asking yourself the question, which platform does my target market spend most of the time in? And then you just work back from there. So Meta ads, the good thing about Meta ads is that half the population are on Meta ads, and the cost per lead is going to be substantially lower than, for example, LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, and even paid search ads, depending on the industry. YouTube is really powerful if you have a strong market share or if you have a lot of revenue ready to experiment with. That's primarily what YouTube is created for. You have to have big budgets. LinkedIn is somewhat similar. They can create more targeted advertisements, but it's a lot higher in expenses. And it's the same with PPC on Google. It's very industry dependent. But yeah, choose the platform where your ICP spends the most attention and where traffic is most cost effective. And I've outlined that here. Step 2, write pain point targeted ad copy. So one of the biggest mistakes I see with a lot of B2B businesses in their ads is that they're not targeting the pain points of their customer. Cold traffic doesn't know your brand, your product, or why they should care, but they do know their pain. You need to create copy that targets their frustrations, fears, and challenges, and this is what will grab attention. Copy that leads with features and capabilities will be ignored. So a piece of advice that I would give is to lead with the benefit or to lead with the pain point that you are trying to target with your copy. And then you can follow up with the features and capabilities. Because targeting the pain point, number one, shows to the prospect that you understand their pains or their struggles, their challenges, which therefore builds rapport. And that's what grabs their attention because there's going to be some sort of emotional resonance in the copy. And then after that, you can articulate how you overcome this challenge. So a bad example would be Lead Pilot helps you automate outbound sequences with AI-powered lead enrichment. That's not going to have an emotional resonance with your target market. You want to lead with something that really targets the root of their pain, which is something like your SDRs waste 10 hours a week manually finding leads and your pipeline suffers because of that. So you can see that we've just gone a level deeper there in our targeted copy. Other examples of pain point driven copy would be your SDR spend more time finding leads than booking meetings. This is a real life scenario that I've seen. Step 3, optimize the landing page. Your reply rates stay under 3% because your targeting is off. You're burning pipeline because your SDRs don't have clean data. Again, these are all relevant pain points that get to the root of the problem. You want to put onto your website. So in your ad copy, So here are some tips. You want to target one specific pain. Don't try and solve everything.
There's a concept identified your traffic
power of one,
which in this case,
let's
say
if you just
Facebook
target
ads, and now
one
you need
pain point
to
or
have
want
a
to
landing
focus on
page that
one
converts
key
all
issue,
this traffic
and
that
you
has been
unpack it
funneled
with great detail
from your
that's
ads.
far more effective than trying to.
Therefore, your landing page
cover
must be optimized
multiple
in a way
different
that can
bases in
convert
your
all
call
traffic.
traffic.
The best way to do this is to immediately
Use your
highlight the
ICP's real
overarching
language.
value,
This is
benefit, or
really
challenge
important.
that you
want to
solve
mirror the
in
exact
your
words and
lead
phrases your
magnet.
prospects
So
are
in
using
this
when
case,
describing
discover
their
how to
problems.
write cold emails that beat
So,
the
for
3%
example, if
reply
I'm going
rate.
to do
So
marketing towards
this guide that I'm advertising
B2B
here
SaaS companies,
to cold
I
traffic
would use key
will
phrases
help them
like
get a better
book a
reply
demo
rate than 3%,
or product-led growth.
So targeting a
Because this
pain
is
point
the type
here.
of vocabulary that my target
with
market
the
are
subcopy,
speaking.
what we've done is
You want to avoid
how this
product
is
talk.
achieved.
Don't talk about yourselves.
And we've done
talk
this
about
with
the
a certain level of
prospects.
specificity, which is really
You want low
important
friction
because
call to action.
the more specific
use
you are
action
in
words
your
like
copy,
download now,
the more
access,
persuasive you become,
or
and the
fix
more
X
persuasive that
facts
you become,
that feel
or
easy
the more
and
persuasive
immediate.
your copy is,
And
the
you
higher
also want to
chance
keep
there will
the
be
copy
that people will
short
convert.
and clear.
So what I've said here is using Hormozi's persuasion principles, apply persuasion structures inside each message to trigger relevance and replies. So we've name dropped Hormozi's persuasion principles, or I should say we've name dropped Hormozi since he is a huge name in the business world, and it immediately adds credibility because it communicates that we've almost mirrored his how would you say, his frameworks, so they're going to be somewhat legitimate. Remove guesswork and create personalized emails at scale. So again, we're tapping into an overarching benefit that can help our target market get closer to their goals. We have a very simple call to action here: download free guide, which is going to be low commitment. There's nothing to do with book a call where they have to get involved in some sort of committed relationship with the business, with Lead Pilot. All you got to do is just click the button below. And then, beneath that, we've further optimized the page for conversions by inserting testimonials where they talk about how good the guide was. Feedback from the market in the form of testimonials will go a long way to convincing prospects to downloading your guide. So here are a few rules that you need to follow to have the best possible conversion rate on your landing page. You want to make sure that the messaging on your ad matches the messaging on your landing page. If there's a mismatch, then there's going to be some friction and leads will drop off. Your conversion rate will suffer. You want to make the copywriting as skimmable as possible. People have low attention spans.
So let's
They
recap
do not
here.
have time
You've
to dig
managed to
through
build out a
huge,
lead
chunky,
magnet
clunky
that is
paragraphs
offering a lot of
to
value
understand
upfront
what
for
you're trying
free.
to say. You need to
You
use
have
bullet
created-
points.
you have
Use short
identified the
paragraphs,
appropriate and
short
most effective
sentences,
and cost
and have a clear
effective
hierarchy so visitors
traffic mechanisms
grasp
to funnel
the
traffic
value that you're
onto
offering
your
your
landing
landing
page,
page, and you've managed to create
Build
a landing
trust
page
without
that's
self-promotion.
optimized to converting cold traffic.
So
Now all of a
so
sudden you have a big
what's the
influx
phrase?
of different
It's,
email addresses and
suggest
leads.
it, don't tell it. Show
Since
it,
these
show, don't
leads
tell.
are still getting to know you, they will not be ready to hop
We've
on a
done
sales
that here.
call.
You don't want to say
Therefore,
that this
they
is
need
a
to be
fantastic,
nurtured, and that's
amazing
exactly what you need to
content
do next.
asset.
You need to,
You want to
nurture these leads up until a
You want
point
to
where they're
point them
ready to
towards
jump on a
evidence
call.
that would suggest that. And the best way
So
to do
what
that
cold leads
quite
need
often
before
is
they'll
in the
book a
form
call
of
with you?
testimonials
They need
or even
trust.
case studies.
They need proof to know what you're talking about.
And
They
yet
need to
you
feel
want
like your
to
solution was
remove
built for
friction.
their
So
exact
have one clear
problem,
call to action,
and they need
if
to
it's a
understand
landing
the
page.
business outcome that they'll
And
get from talking
don't,
to you.
don't confuse them or bombard them with
And that
any
leads
other
me on to our
action
next
that
step.
may
The way that we do this is that we
detract their
create
focus
a
away
tailored
from
email
hitting
nurture
the main one, which is what
sequence.
you want, which is
And the goal of
download the
this
free
is to
guide
build
now.
belief, trust, and interest over time. So over the course of these emails, say for example, 10 emails, what you're going to do is you're going to drip feed them multiple different types of content that highlights the exact value that you provide, the challenges that you solve, the capabilities that you have, and also the way that you approach these different problems and what the business relationship will look like working with you is to instill trust and to communicate credibility. And you're also supposed to just provide upfront free value that could potentially help them solve their problems anyway, with or without you. But the idea is that you want to display yourself as some sort of credible, authoritative figure that can help them achieve their goals. And the best way to do that is through an email nurture sequence. And the idea is that over the course of 10 emails, it could be more, could be 15 or 20, depending on the industry that you're in and the sales cycles that you have. By the end of that email sequence, they will have enough confidence in you to book a call with you and see you as someone that could potentially solve their problems. So, nurture requirements. The extent of which a business trusts you is contingent on the amount of value you can provide. It is important that you do this before asking anything in return. For cold leads, value looks like clarity around the problem they already feel, insight they didn't have before, guidance they can immediately apply, or even a small win that proves your expertise. And you're going to do this all throughout your email sequence. When you consistently deliver value, three things happen. Prospects feel understood, which is hugely significant. It builds rapport with your brand, which therefore they begin to trust your perspective. And it also reduces the perceived amount of risk in engaging with you. Their guard is lower, and you are put on a pedestal and seen as someone who is more of an authoritative figure. In a lead magnet funnel, value is what bridges the gap between interest and conversation. Without it, leads stall, and with it, they move forward. So the next question that you would be asking is, how do you provide this value? You provide it through the form of content. So, for example, your first email, you deliver the asset, so the lead magnet that you had promised, and you can give them a quick win. So you can send a lead magnet immediately with one actionable tip they can implement today that will move them closer to their goals. Um, why funnels break. You can educate. Let me move this. Why funnels break. Yeah, this is an example from the lead pilot that I've given to you. So lead magnet, let's see, email 2 could just be a blog. We'll do this blog, case study, or yeah. So the second email can be a blog. The third one can also be an additional blog as well that basically covers a problem in depth and provides solutions to overcoming the problem. Email 4 could be a case study that demonstrates your expertise and the impacts that you've had working with other clients. And email 5 can be an ROI calculator that adds logic to your claim. If you can add some sort of logic where you break down the exact mathematics involved, as in the pricing, how much money they need to invest to get results A, B, C, D, and you can appeal to their logical side, then that's going to make you seem a lot more credible and trustworthy. Okay, so step 5, creating a compelling offer. This is hugely significant because throughout your entire email sequence at this point, you will be drip feeding them content to demonstrate your expertise and to prove that you can deliver exceptional results for your clients. At this point, they will have enough confidence in your abilities. And to get them on a call, you want to create a compelling offer that they see as valuable. So make a booking call feel like the next logical step. What makes a good or compelling offer? The offer needs to be highly perceived to being highly valuable. So the offer must be valuable enough that the prospect would normally expect to pay for it. You want to ensure that it's low risk and commitment, so there's not a lot of friction involved. So they don't want to be fearful of having to invest a lot of time or money. You also want to make sure that the offer that you put into this email is deeply aligned with the lead magnet and nurture content. It's got to be somewhat relevant to the content that you have been feeding them throughout the entire sequence. Ideally, you want to have it as something that is specific and tangible, as in what they can expect in return by hopping on, say, for example, a call or a consultation. And the offer should make sure that the offer is personalized, because people like personalized and tailored things, and that is what's going to make the offer a lot more compelling. So, in the example of lead magnet, this could be an email that we drop in later on in the sequence, and you can say, "Hi, Mr. Prospect. I notice you're using HubSpot and Slack and Zapier. This is compelling because we are personalizing the content. We've had a look at their tech stack and we've identified that these are 3 tools that they use. Based on your tech stack, I'm guessing you're manually copying lead data from HubSpot into Slack notifications at least 10 times a week. We're tapping into a pain point here, which is going to pull them closer. I'd love to offer you a free 30-minute workflow audit. So here's the value where I'll screen record your current setup and identify the top 3 workflows costing you the most time, give you a prioritized roadmap with estimated ROI for each automation, and send you a custom Loom video you can share with your team." There's a hell of a lot of value here that we have unpacked, and we have dived into the details about exactly what they can expect from this call. Just book a time in the calendar link below. Low commitment, very easy. Okay, so with our special offer, the email sequence will look a little bit like this. And with emails 1, 2, and 3, you first want to deliver upfront value to build trust and to demonstrate some sort of capabilities and expertise. And you do that by blog. You insert a blog into each one of these emails, a hyperlink to the blog where you can funnel the traffic onto each one of these pages, where they can get a real insight into the knowledge and the problems that you can share. The solutions to overcoming the problems. This is a really easy way to build trust. And then in email 4, you perhaps want to insert a case study to demonstrate exactly the impacts and results that you've had with other clients. So it's evidence, which is hugely important because you can make all these claims in the blog about how you can solve problems or you do demonstration of expertise. But the fact that if you have evidence in a case study, that will build a lot more trust. So you're kind of combining these two different pieces of content to achieving that. And then email 5, you want to put an ROI calculator to basically break down what investments are required to deliver an ROI if they were to invest in your service. And by doing this, you're appealing to their logical side of the brain. And if it mathematically it makes sense, that will further compel them to do business with you. And then email 6, you can drop in the special offer that we've just been over here. So if they book a call, you take them out of the email sequence and you go ahead with the scheduled consultation, or it could be a demo if that's the product, if you're a SaaS product. If they haven't booked the call, then you just continue to nurture them over a prolonged period of time up until the point where they are ready to jump a call. So you'll see that we have another special offer in email 11. So this ideally could go on in perpetuity up until they are ready to jump on a call with you. This could be some prospects might only need 5 emails, some other 10, some 15, some 20. It depends on the industry that you're in and how long your sales cycles are. So as a summary, cold traffic isn't converting because you don't have a lead magnet for early stage buyers. If you have a lead magnet on your website, you will have more leads that get into your funnel and you will have more opportunities to convert this traffic into qualified leads. Yep, you need a lead magnet that delivers upfront value and captures leads so you can nurture them. So the way to do that is to think of the pain points of your target market and create highly valuable content assets that walks them through how to solve those problems. Your homepage and landing pages must be optimized for cold traffic, not demo-ready buyers. If you do not do this, you will be turning away a lot of potential opportunities to do business. Your email nurture sequences is what builds expertise, trust, and buying intent over time. It is the mechanism that you must use to build the rapport and to instill the trust required to get people on a call. And your final offer is the trigger that turns educated, trust-ready leads into book calls. So that's the end of this video. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the comment section below. And I'll see you on the next video.